Welcome to another episode where I will be sharing my tips, case studies about running a business and dealing with life. Hopefully, you'll find some inspiration. Welcome to my podcast. This is episode 1, The Power of Sharing. So in this episode, I need to start off by telling you a little bit of a story so you can understand what I mean by the power of sharing. So when I first started my blog, I started really by sharing DIYs that I was doing around my house. And I did a DIY with a storage piece that I bought at my local IKEA that was intended for kitchen organization. There were baskets, metal baskets that you would put in your kitchen, but instead of putting them in my kitchen, I actually put them over my toilet in my bathroom for storage. And I basically did the whole thing, and I took pictures from my cell phone and wrote the blog post. And, and that was it. And I published it and didn't think much of it. And like every other blog post, I pinned it in Pinterest, and that was about it. And then I realized a couple months later that I was getting a lot of traffic. I was checking my Google Analytics and noticed a spike in my visitor count, and I digged in and drilled down to see where it was coming from. And I noticed that the website that was bringing the traffic was BuzzFeed and Pinterest. And I'm like, why is BuzzFeed and Pinterest pushing traffic into my website? So then I drilled down further and noticed that what was being pushed was the actual blog post about the DIY that I did over the toilet. And that point, I'm like, what is going on? And I'm noticing notifications from Pinterest advising that tons of people were repinning my pin about the bathroom organization that I had pinned. And then I said, well, let me Google and see what's the BuzzFeed part of it. And I went and searched and noticed that BuzzFeed actually had put an article together about bathroom makeovers, and my bathroom makeover was part of the list. So that's pretty much where this, came from. And then a couple months later, I looked at it because the visitor count was increasing even further. And I noticed that other websites were pulling my content into their website. So long story short, the learning that I got from this is that it's important to share. It's important to share, period. And if you think about it, most social media platforms are based on the concept of sharing. I use Poshmark a lot. If you don't know Poshmark, it's an app where you can sell gently used clothes or brand new clothes. And the concept of sharing is very strong there, because if you don't share other people's listing, you're basically not going to sell. And when you think about Pinterest as a platform as well, it's all about sharing. When you pin and repin, it's like you're resharing. And that's how you bring in awareness and visitors into what you are pinning. So what I'm trying to teach you now is that if you are not currently sharing your content out there and letting others know what it is that you're putting together, you should start doing that. You should start doing that and share your content within your community and your space online so that others know that you have it, because that's what people are looking for. And even on Facebook, when you post your blog post on Facebook, you want it to be shared. And, one of the ways that I do that, example for Facebook, I share my blog posts into Facebook groups, and everybody else supports each other by sharing each other's blog posts. So there's a big deal behind sharing, and I urge you to try to do that more. And if you're not doing it right now, I would suggest that you explore starting to share your content a little bit more. If you're frustrated about not having enough visitors in your website, try it out and see, because I experienced it and it worked. So that is it. As far as me sharing the power of sharing. So hopefully you found this podcast useful and that you will put it into action, or even explore, if you've already started sharing, the results of what that has done for your business. Until then, have a wonderful life. I hope to see you back here. Tell your friends, tell your family members about this podcast, and I will be back. Thank you so much for listening.